Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of Nerds. And for our opening week review today, we are going to be reviewing Fallen Legion Revenants.
Come on, hold up close so I can see it. All right, let's...
But before we begin, don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Alright, let's jump right into the gameplay footage. 3, 2, 1.
So, Fallen Legion Revenants was developed by Yummy Yummy Tummy. And it was published by NIS America. It is available on the Switch and PS4 only.
So this is a action-adventure role-playing game that is somewhere in between real-time combat and turn-based combat. So I call it, kind of a hybrid. There's these little white sections next to each of your exemplars, and that determines how many attacks they get. And it takes time for that to build up. And then you have to real-time block. Blocking is a really big part of this game. If you don't block, your characters will die and die and die. Now, when your exemplars do die, you don't have to use any potions or anything. Your Revenant, that's the lady floating above them, can bring them back to life, but it costs magic.
And this actually is a 2-mode game where right here you're seeing the battle mode where you're kind of going across the screen until you find enemies that you're fighting. And then there is another mode which is more of the interaction with the politicians, where the Revenant, she actually works with the politicians. And you can see here, this is where you go into that other mode. It's the political mode, and the two are working together.
Right, yeah. So I don't know if I've ever seen a game like that where you'll just completely switch characters. So you're the Revenant and the exemplars, and now I'm playing as the politician, and I need to convince the Lord to let you vote into the next voting cycle or whatever. So you'll see previously that the Revenant found that candelabra, told the politician about it. The politician recognized that it belonged to this aristocrat, so now he's telling her, hey, I found this candelabra, and now she's allowing him to vote. So it's a pretty cool balance. So you control each exemplar. Those are the 3 characters below the Revenant. And each one is basically controlled with a single button. So you see Y, B, A, the Revenant is X. And that can take quite a bit of getting used to. See, most games, A's attack. Well, if you just smash A, the only guy that's going to attack is the A character. So you got to sort of bounce back in between the 4 face buttons to control each one. And then I really thought the dialogue section was pretty cool. So that we needed to figure out which path we needed to go, and the politician had, 2 minutes to discover that information. So you got to run around and ask all these other politicians and aristocrats, to try to figure out which way the exemplars need to go in the battle mode. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's a lot of dialogue choice. So while the fighting seems extremely linear, like you're not even moving the characters, like they automatically run. You can switch in between, which square you stand on, but
you're really just running across the screen, and so
Right.
there's no open world. It feels very linear, but the artwork on this, and even the music, it's just beautiful. It's very striking. I absolutely love the artwork on this and the costumes that they're wearing. The background really gives a good feel to the story of the game.
Right. And even though it does have that anime feel, I wouldn't say the characters are over sexualized. So, which is something that we really like. We have a young daughter. So even though we love this style of artwork, sometimes they can get a little heavy on the open skin. And this one seemed to be,
They had really cool costumes.
yeah,
Really liked it.
more covered up.
Yeah, the long jackets and,
Right.
and everything like that. So
The,
that was really cool.
The woman, Rowena, is, the tough, badass character that's controlling all these exemplars to fight, and then the guy is the politician. So it's almost like a switch where I think most games would have the guy leading the army and the girl kind of wooing behind the scenes, and this one's flipped. So I really appreciate that. So we put our games into one of three categories. Play means it hits the console as often as possible. Display means you leave it on the shelf and break it out when the urge strikes. And stay away means you leave it at the store for someone else to play. And for us, Fallen Legion Revenants is a display. There were some things I liked about it, but it felt, I think the combat is pretty repetitive. You have to constantly time those blocks. Even if you just hold the block button, a portion of their attack gets through. So you have to perfectly time it right when the blade is hitting your team. Everyone holds up their shields at once, and you deflect it, you parry it, you bounce the projectile back. So it's almost, but then you can't just mash the attack button on the swing back once you block. You only get a certain number of attacks. So that sort of in between real time and turn based didn't totally do it for me personally. I do enjoy Zelda, which is completely real time, and I do enjoy Final Fantasy, where if you don't select your action, the game is basically just paused.
Yeah.
This kind of tweener didn't really do it for me, but there was a lot to like about this game. Let us know in the comments below if you've tried this or if you're interested in it. And until then, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't have a joke again.
Your snowman melted.
My snowman melted. He lasted for a while, though.
He did. It's been in the 50s. It got in the 50s today.
Yeah.
That
got
was
my short sleeve shirt on. I'm
that was
feeling
pretty
all
cool.
summery.
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
Brewdog, Elvis juice, hit me up. I've been really enjoying Elvis juice.
They do sell it at Meijer.
Yeah. I think they sell it at Kroger, too.
Yes, Kroger's, I think, where we originally got it. Well, you originally saw it from Matt,
Yeah. Matt brought it over
but
for game night.
then we were getting it at Kroger. But then I happened to see it also at Meijer. Maybe they have it at Walmart.
I'm looking at something.
No, they didn't.
I didn't shave. How long my hair is. Look at this.
Well, you get a haircut. You could, yeah. You could just shave your head.
I've thought about it.